Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tufts University's Lunar New Year celebration. Happy Year of the Tiger. It's really wonderful to see so many friends of Chinatown here today. We have a packed program, so I'm going to keep my remarks and introductions brief. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Liza Perry, Deputy Director of Government and Community Relations at Tufts University. My role at Tufts is to focus on our community partnerships and neighbor relations in the city of Boston. As many of you know, Tufts University has two campuses here in the city. Our health sciences campus is in Boston's Chinatown and includes our dental school, medical school, nutrition school, and human nutrition research center on aging. And our School of the Museum of Fine Arts is located in Fenway and Mission Hill. I know we wish we were all able to celebrate in person, but we still hope today's event will be a fun and festive opportunity for all of us to connect and honor this special holiday. Since we won't be able to do individual introductions, I invite you all now to say hello in the chat by putting your name and organization. A few other housekeeping items. Please make sure to have your raffle ticket nearby. We will be pulling raffle prizes at the beginning and end of the program. Only those who are present are eligible to win. Your raffle number is on the invitation enclosed in the red envelope that you received in your treat box in the mail. Before we begin, I'd also like to introduce my team and thank them for all they did to make this event possible. With us here today are Mary Jaca, Senior Vice President and General Counsel of Tufts University, Rocco DeRico, Leah Boudreau, and Mark Majori. I'd also like to recognize City Council President Ed Flynn and the Mayor's Chinatown Liaison, Chulan Huang. Thank you for joining us today. We will not be using the spotlight feature for today's event as we want it to feel as if everyone is gathered together. Please feel free to highlight speakers on your own as we move through the program by using the view feature at the top right of your Zoom screen. My colleague Leah will share today's event program in the chat so you can all follow along. It is now my sincere honor to introduce President Tony Monaco, the 13th president of Tufts University. During President Monaco's 11 years at Tufts, he has made it a priority to build strong community partnerships in Boston, Grafton, Medford, and Somerville. He has been a steadfast supporter of the Tufts Community Grants Program and a regular attendee at community events. President Monaco recently announced he will be stepping down as president in the summer of 2023. We will all miss his leadership and look forward to inviting you to join us next year as we celebrate his immeasurable impact. Thank you for joining President Monaco. I now turn the program over to you.
Thank you, Liza, for the introduction and for organizing today's events with your colleagues from the Office of Government and Community Relations. A special thank you to Leah Boudreau, who put together the festive gift boxes that you received in the mail. My name's Tony Monaco, and I'm president of Tufts University, and I'm honored to be with you all to celebrate the Year of the Tiger. So happy Lunar New Year. Thank you for joining us today for the important work you all do in Boston's Chinatown and for immigrant and AAPI communities in the greater Boston area. With us here this afternoon are neighborhood advocates, nonprofit leaders, small business owners, Boston City Council President Ed Flynn, and students, faculty, and staff from Tufts University who are engaged in community work and research. 2 years ago, on March 3rd, 2020, many of us gathered at New Jumbo Seafood for a luncheon we organized to celebrate our beloved Chinatown neighborhood. A couple weeks later, the world came to a halt and all our lives were dramatically changed. We can't wait until we can be back together again in a similar setting, and I'm hopeful that we will be soon. As we did our best to safely navigate COVID-19 over the past couple of years, we have especially missed the opportunities to invite you, our community partners, to campus. Since the earliest days of the pandemic, it has been a priority of mine to support our host communities like Chinatown and share our university resources as much as possible. We housed first responders on campus, and offered refrigeration space to food pantries. We made in-kind donations of PPE and provided 30 emergency grants to local nonprofits responding to the challenges of COVID-19. This past fall, we hosted the Cherish Chinatown's Challenge to stimulate business at local Chinatown restaurants and participated in multiple neighborhood cleanups. While it has been a challenging couple of years for everyone, we also recognize that the Chinatown neighborhood was particularly hard hit due to the rise in anti-Asian rhetoric and racism that grew from COVID-19 misinformation. We are committed to standing against racism in all forms and to supporting this community in any way we can as a university. We have fortunately also seen silver linings come out of these challenging days and have been heartened to see many of our Chinatown partnerships grow, evolve, and deepen. We look forward to seeing this trend continue and finding new and meaningful ways to work together in these trying times. Today, you will hear a few of the many examples of these partnerships. I hope the presentations from students, faculty, and staff provide inspiration and new ideas for all of us. You will also hear updates from our Tufts Community Grants Program, which is now accepting applications, and an upcoming bilingual exhibition project between the Chinatown Historical Society of New England and Tisch College's program for public humanities. You will meet some new Tufts University leaders who are looking forward to getting to know the Chinatown community, and you will see familiar faces of faculty and staff who have been working with the neighborhoods for many years. I believe our students on the health science campus chose our schools, the School of Medicine, the School of Dental Medicine, and the Friedman School of Nutrition Science and Policy, because they want more than just a strong professional education. Many of our students are attracted to Tufts because of our deep commitment to civic life, a commitment that is intertwined with our curriculums. Our students learn so much from their time working with organizations like the Powell Arts Center, Greater Boston Chinese Golden Age Center, Tufts Medical Center, and the Asian CDC. Thank you for all you do to mentor our health science students and help them grow while they're at Tufts. We strive to provide excellent training for our students while they are here with us, so they can take excellent care of others after they graduate. That's our primary mission, and we understand that learning cannot happen in the classroom alone. It is essential for us as educators to teach our students about the impact that they can make in their local communities now and after they leave Tufts. We are proud of our students' commitment to social responsibility and civic engagement. It is a Tufts tradition. We take it very seriously. That is why we put so much energy into supporting their work with local partners. Thank you all for the critical work you do to make Chinatown a vibrant, diverse, and cherished home for families, nonprofit organizations, small businesses, and our students. Again, happy Year of the Tiger. I'm grateful to be here with you all today. Thank you.
Thank you, President Monaco, for those greetings. I really share your gratitude for our community partners and neighbors for all they do to support our students. We are honored to be joined today by Boston City Council President Ed Flynn. Councilor Flynn, for those of you who know him, is a tireless advocate for District 2, which includes Boston's Chinatown. Councilor Flynn, would you like to unmute and say a quick hello?
Thank you, Liza, and it's great to be with the Tufts University community with President Monaco. Thank you for the tremendous outreach you have provided, your school has provided in Chinatown. As the president mentioned, it's been a very difficult and challenging 2 years for the Chinatown community. It has been devastated by the pandemic, not only medically, but with the rise of hate crimes and anti-Asian racism that we see across the city, but also across the country. We have a lot of challenges in Chinatown. We need to work together. I also have to acknowledge, unfortunately, Tufts Medical Center is closing the pediatric children's hospital that plays a critical role in Chinatown. So that's going to hurt our AAPI community. But I do know we need your support. We need your advocacy to address a lot of racism in our city, but also making sure that the AAPI community have the services, the support that they desperately need. So I would ask you once again to stay involved, stay active in making sure that Chinatown is respected and it's treated fairly. And that's our job, is to recommit ourselves to the dignity of all people. Thank you very much, Liza, and thank you, President Monaco, for your important leadership that you have played in this community.
Thank you so much, Councillor Flynn, for joining us today. I'm now going to turn it over to my colleague, Leah, who's going to pull the winners of our first raffle prizes. Please get out your tickets. They're enclosed in the red envelope that were in your treat box. If you hear your number called, please use the raise hand feature to claim your prize and let us know that you are the winner in the chat. And these are for gift cards to local restaurants in Chinatown. Go ahead, Leah.
Thanks, Liza. And then for those of you who aren't familiar with the raise hand feature, that's in the reactions button at the bottom of your screen. So the little smiley face, you'll see a button that says raise hand. So I will call several numbers out and we'll see if we have any winners amongst us. So I've got my box of raffle winners here. Do I have a 15, a number 15 winner? Oh, I see a raised hand. There's Yan. Okay, Yan is our first winner for $50 to Gourmet China House. And that's on Beach Street. And we'll pull one more winner. Let's see. I have a 95. Do I have a 95? I'm looking for a raised hand. I don't see one yet. We'll set that number aside. Maybe we've got some other winners.
Looks like Sherry might be claiming it in the chat.
Sherry, is Sherry claiming that in the chat?
Sherry Dong, do you have that number? Yes.
Yes.
She's our winner.
Okay. Sherry Dong, 86. So Sherry Dong, you've won a $50 gift card to APM Coffee on Neelan Street.
All right. Okay. Congrats to our first two winners. Keep your raffle tickets handy because we'll pull a couple more later in the program. So our next speaker is Shirley Mark, who you all might recognize, the Director of Community Partnerships and Assistant Dean for Diversity and Inclusion at Tufts Tisch College of Civic Life. As many of you know, Shirley has deep connections with Boston's Chinatown and Asian American communities. She has done an incredible job leading Tisch College's partnerships for almost 20 years. I'm personally grateful for her mentorship and leadership at Tufts. Shirley, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you, President Monaco, for opening the program. I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you for inviting me to speak. I just wanted to echo President Monaco's thoughts about when we last met together, and that was 2 years ago. And just want to say it's been too long, and I hope that we'll see you all in person soon. I wish for all of us that the Year of the Tiger will bring us a more healthy, prosperous, and peaceful world for us locally, as well as across the globe. So during my short time with you today, I'm going to share a few reflections on what Lunar New Year means to me and for some thoughts on our community work together. I think most people know that Lunar New Year is a really special holiday for many Asian cultures and Asians and Asian Americans across the globe. It is a celebration of family, of good health, prosperity, and especially of children. In my family, children were always the center of attention and doted on during the New Year time. They receive new clothes and shoes, new from top to bottom for New Year's Day. And most people know about red envelopes, which Leah did a great job interpreting it for our goodie boxes for today. For 2 weeks during the new year, children receive red envelopes from, basically in Cantonese culture, it's from married adults. And they are allowed and encouraged to do things that normally you would consider not so polite. Basically, they are allowed and encouraged to walk up to any married adult and say, Happy New Year, Gong Hei Fa Choi, San Nian Fai La. And in return, the married adults must give them a red envelope to buy treats with. It becomes a little game for the children as well as the adults who indulge them. And, as a child, you try to get as many red envelopes as you can. It's a way of supporting and really spoiling the children at this time of year. Lunar New Year lasts for several weeks, with many special activities and many special meals. Another tradition that people may not be quite as familiar with is that families visit each other's homes. You physically visit each other's homes and you bring oranges, tangerines, apples, red envelopes, and treats. And it's kind of open house season, and everyone needs to visit anyone close to them to bring good wishes, and you expect to be visited back. And so it's a time when there's a lot of fluidity and, just a joyful time for families. At Tufts and in the Chinatown community, I think a lot of us are familiar with New Year's because many of our Chinatown partners, most of our Chinatown partners and other organizations in the community have New Year's banquets. It's a way for us to connect with the broader community, to be generous with our giving, and to wish everyone a good year, a healthful and prosperous year. Shifting to my time at Tufts and at Tisch College, I want to share a little personal story. When I accepted the position at Tisch College, it was like a self-imposed demotion, if you will. And some people here have known me for a long time. My husband said, why would you go to Tufts for a very part-time job? Because at that time, the position was to work with the Chinatown community. The partnership had started with a graduate student, and Rob Hollister, our first dean, was looking for a professional staff person. And I said to my husband, I said, what could be better? Our kids are still young. I need more time with them. And I get to work with all my Chinatown friends. That's exactly what I said to him. And the rest is history. It's been almost 20 years, as Liza mentioned. I also wanted to share one of my favorite partnerships, which is also our first partnership in Chinatown. And some people may remember this. It was Tisch College's, I believe it was our first service learning course. And it was called Building Bridges, Race, Class, Power, and Politics in Boston's Chinatown. I can't take credit for it because it was developed by this graduate student and Professor Jean Wu. Undergraduate students would learn about the history of Chinatown. They'd learn about issues that we now call equity and justice issues. We would call it racial justice issues. That wasn't the language we used then, but that is the essence of what that course was. Students were placed in a Chinatown agency for a full year, receiving academic credit, and many students were transformed and changed by that. A lot of those partners remain with us today. They include, and I won't be able to cover everyone, but they include ACDC, BCNC, ATASC, CPA, the Josiah Quincy Upper School, the Asian American Resource Workshop, and many others. I also wanted to do a little shout out for one of our alumna, Tran Wen, who is now a state rep. She was a student in that class, so I've known her for a very long time. And she was one of the first placements at Greater Boston Legal Services in their Asian Outreach Unit. And of course, everyone knows where she's come. So I want to thank you all for indulging in my stories. I'm so grateful to have this job that I have that is a bridge between my home community of Chinatown. It's not where I grew up, but it's where I consider my home community, and Tufts. You know, tigers represent courage and strength, and I wish all of us courage and strength as we start this new year to address the issues that President Monaco discussed, as well as Councillor Flynn, and issues that we are all too familiar with. I'd like to ask everyone to join me in welcoming Tisch College's third dean, Dana Cunningham. Dean Cunningham joined Tisch College last summer. Prior to Tisch College, she has devoted her career to promoting civic participation, building community partnerships, and advocating for underrepresented communities. Before coming to Tisch, Dana was the founder of the Community Innovators Lab, also called CoLab, at MIT's Urban Studies program. Welcome, Dean Cunningham. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Liza. Thank you, President Monaco. I'm so honored to be here with all of you, our Chinatown partners and many Tufts and Tisch College colleagues. I joined Tisch in July, as Shirley just said, and I've learned so much about the deep partnerships that Tisch has and Tufts has with the community in Chinatown. I had a wonderful time visiting the Powell Art Center. I'm really excited by the work of our public humanities program around the Boston, the Chinatown branch of the public library, and its soon to open public art exhibit. And this year, our Tisch College Community Research Center is doing a project with the Boston Chinatown Neighborhood Center to help them better understand the Quincy AAPI community and their needs. I also want to thank so many partners on this Zoom for hosting Tisch Scholars and Tisch Summer Fellows. You play such an important role in the development of our students, and for that we are tremendously grateful. I'm also grateful for your leadership in the community and look forward to getting to know all of you better. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your meaningful words, Shirley, and thank you, Dean Cunningham, for your greetings. It's now a pleasure to introduce you to Chief Yolanda Smith, our Executive Director of Public Safety. Chief Smith began her role this past July and oversees operations on all of our campuses. She is joined here today by Lieutenant Jameson Yee, our Medford Somerville Station Commander, and Lieutenant Brian Moran, our Boston Station Commander. Chief Smith, please feel free to unmute and say a quick hello.
Hello, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to celebrate my very first Lunar New Year celebration. As mentioned, I'm joined by Lieutenant Brian Moran and Lieutenant Jameson Yee, two people who are big partners in Chinatown and who are of service and provide resources to the community. We thank you for allowing us to have this celebration. We thank you for the wonderful treats that were sent to our homes. I shared them with my family, and happy Year of the Tiger.
Thanks so much, Chief Smith. So our first student presenters are from our Tufts University's Cherish Chinatown initiative. I'm so lucky to have worked with these dental student leaders for the past year. They really inspire me, and I hope they inspire you as well. Please welcome Yan Lin, Venus Tran, and Maya Sunar.
Thank you for introduction, Liza. I'm going to share my screen. Are you able to see the presentation?
Perfect,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Lunar New Year. My name is Yan Lin, and I'm currently a third-year dental student at Tufts. I co-founded Cherish Chinatown along with Venus and Maya, both of who are currently second-year dental students. So how did Cherish Chinatown begin? I was inspired with the idea of starting a cleanup for a neighborhood after listening to a panel discussion for our diversity and inclusion class. It was titled Voices from Chinatown, Resilience in the Time of COVID-19 and Anti-Asian Racism. Through this panel, I learned about the history of Boston's Chinatown, as well as the role that Tufts University played throughout the years in the neighborhood. Our dental school sits right in the heart of Chinatown, and as students who share and use the community space, I strongly believe that we have a responsibility to help keep the space clean and to do our part as neighbors. And that's where our cleanup idea came in. This was also an especially critical time for the community because anti-Asian sentiments were on the rise and local businesses were hit hard due to the negative effects of the pandemic. At the time, Nancy Marks had introduced me to Venus and Maya because they had also been thinking about organizing a fundraiser for the community. And that's how the three of us came together as a group. We all had one goal in mind. We wanted to take action to support the Chinatown community. Another one of our goals that developed later was when Liza joined us, and that was to engage and bring together students from the various programs at the Tufts Health Sciences campus to work together and support the neighborhood through community service and partnership with organizations that were already doing amazing work in Boston's Chinatown. Our very first cleanup was in April of 2021, where we recruited 75 volunteers from both the medical and dental school. Students signed up and worked in shifts to assign streets throughout Chinatown to pick up trash. Volunteers also helped with weeding and gardening upon the request of the Josiah Quincy Elementary School. I like to share some memorable moments during the cleanup day. A local resident actually came over to the student volunteers asking if they could help sweep a particular street because that was where his apartment was. He was really grateful later on, and he came over and brought tea drinks for students to show his appreciation. We also had a passerby, Catherine. She came over to our table just asking what was going on. And after we explained to her about our event, she asked if she could join and help, and we gladly welcomed her. These are only some of the few heartwarming moments from the cleanup. Here are more pictures from the actual day of the cleanup. And I'm going to wrap it up here to have Venus and Maya share on some of the other events that our Cherish Chinatown has organized.
Hi, everyone. If you don't know, on the left picture, this is the Hutchins Street Stoop located on Hutchins Street. It is a rotating public art initiative at 1 Greenway Park and is now a Keystone community gathering place in Chinatown. But before the summer, this was not made yet. And we kind of fundraised for this. So I'll be talking more about that. Local artist and Tufts MFA graduate Gianna Stewart collaborated with ACDC and most importantly, engaged Chinatown residents to hear about the community's needs. So this story, Tell and Sway, aims to honor Chinatown's vibrant stoop culture where residents gather, exchange and express ideas, play games, and really just a sense of family from the comfort of their front door. And since the historic row houses were demolished during the highway construction in the 1950s and 60s, this Hutchins Street installation aims to recreate that social environment that I talked about and the community to Hudson Street and beyond. So this on the left, we can see one of the first open mic nights. And since then, there have been poetry slams, story times for the elderly, working class individuals, and children alike. And to support this, we kind of planned a fundraiser to ensure the sustainability of the rotating artwork every 18 months. And this is what we planned. So we planned a trash and show fundraiser, and our main goals were to promote sustainability by repurposing everyday items into wearable and fashionable articles of clothing, reduce their carbon footprint. And we also had an educational component where we invited youth members of the Chinese Progressive Association, and they educated us about the history between Tufts and Chinatown. And how it worked is we had designers, models, and even a red carpet runway for the models to showcase their upcycled articles of clothing. So admission was donation-based, and all of the proceeds went to ACDC in support of the Hutchins Street Stoop. And this was really just lighthearted fun that also benefited our community. And ultimately, we raised $900, and thanks to Liza Perry in the Office of Community and Government Relations, they were able to match the funds, and we ended up donating $1,800 to ACDC and the Hudson Street Stoop.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be talking about the Cherish Chinatown Challenge, which recently occurred last semester. So we started this because we wanted to support the establishments losing their businesses because of COVID and anti-Asian sentiments. This challenge happened throughout the month of November. Tufts students, faculty, staff were incentivized to participate by a weekly raffle and the grand prize winner drawing at the end of the month. There was also an optional scavenger hunt as well, using the ChinatownAtlas.org to explore more of the community's history and also get an additional entry in the raffle. These were some of the yummy treats some people got, and we also got over 757 purchases, and we supported over 93 different businesses in the area. Here's some of the people who were in the raffle.
So we'd like to thank the organizers who made this possible, and this includes the dental students, the medical students, Tufts staff, and some honorable mentions, including Liza Hai, former City of Boston's Chinatown liaison, and Christine Wen, ACDC Director of Development and Communications, as well as the City of Boston's Love Your Block. So we do have some events planned for the coming year. We would like to continue with our Cherish Chinatown community beautification events, and we like to also plan more educational components as well.
We're hoping to do another trash and show as well, so we could support another Chinatown project and students can take a break from their studies and show their creative side and reduce their carbon footprint.
And the place of assembly is on the other side of the Hudson Street Stoop, and this aims to reimagine the history and spirit of the Chinatown Stoop culture. And earlier in the summer, Yan, Maya, and I, we de-weeded and cleaned this lot up. So it really is cool seeing the new establishments in the lot. And this is also going to be a rotating art initiative to accommodate story circles, to movie screenings, to outdoor concerts. So the collective needs of Chinatown community as well invites us to dig deeper into the rapid turnover of the city. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Yan, Maya, and Venus. We really appreciate all you've done with the Cherish Chinatown initiative over the past year. Our next student presenters are from the Tufts Chinatown Wellness Initiative. Please welcome first-year medical students Bo Lon and Colette Fritsche.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for our intro, Liza. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that? Perfect. So I'm Colette Fritsche. I am a first-year medical student at Tufts, and I'm also a co-president of Tufts Chinatown Wellness Initiative.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bo. I'm a first-year medical student at Tufts, and I'm also a first-year medical student. And I chose Tufts because it's one of the only Chinatown medical schools in the country.
I also got involved with Tufts Chinatown Wellness Initiative because I was really interested in getting involved in the community that we're a part of. I was a Mandarin minor in college, and I wanted to be able to use those skills in our own community. TCWI is an interprofessional collaborative aimed to promote health literacy and disease prevention in the surrounding community of Tufts University. So we work with other medical students as well as dental and nutrition students. So an outline of today's presentation, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about TCWI, who our community partners are, what events we've had in the past, and we'll give you a little mini health presentation like the ones that we give to our community members, and we'll end with some closing remarks.
So who are we? We are a student-run organization started in 2015 on the Boston Tufts Health Sciences campus. And our mission is to improve health literacy and disease prevention in the surrounding Chinatown community and beyond. Since our funding in 2015, we have held more than 24 collaborative presentations and multiple off-campus events that have also involved many dental and nutrition students. Our current membership involves more than 20 medical students
So who are our community partners? We work with the Greater Boston Chinese Golden Age Center, as well as the Asian Community Development Corporation in the past. We definitely have representatives of them today. So we'd like to thank you guys. We wouldn't be where we are without you. So the Greater Boston Chinese Golden Age Center's mission is to promote the general welfare of Asian elders. They're committed to advocating on behalf of Chinese-speaking Asian seniors and enable them to access comprehensive networks of culturally sensitive and linguistically appropriate programs and services to enhance their quality of life. So our mission statements line up very well, so we have done great work with them. As well as the Asian Community Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit focused on creating and preserving affordable, sustainable, and healthy neighborhoods in Boston's Chinatown. So thank you both.
So what events have we held in the past? So we've mainly held events based on to tailor to the needs of what our community partners or in our local Chinatown community have wanted to learn more about. So we have held talks on diabetes and diet, osteoporosis, cardiovascular health, lung disease, as well as more exercise oriented, such as eye care or exercise and wellness. During the most recent COVID-19 pandemic, we held events that affect the local Chinatown community more, such as the general information on COVID-19, as well as depression and anxiety, as well as vaccines. So this was from our most recent workshop in September on first aid. And we had a really great turnout, and we were able to hand out some first aid kits to the seniors and explain how to use them. At our presentations and workshop, we always love to see how engaged our seniors are, asking questions and just eager to learn. We hope that we can be even more of a helpful resource to members of our Chinatown community at coming events.
So to start off our mini health presentation, just to tie it into the Year of the Tiger. So a quote from Jonathan H.X. Lee, who is an American Asian Studies professor and an author, said that the tiger embodies courage and bravery, so the new year could symbolize resilience and strength even in times of struggle. So obviously this can have many meanings, but we're going to focus on the strength aspect and relate it to how you can manage your joint pain. Obviously this might not affect everyone, but it is useful information for in the future. So we're going to start off with talking about most common causes and symptoms of osteoarthritis, causes and symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, how you can manage your joint pain, and what treatments are for joint pain.
So what are the common causes of osteoarthritis? Osteoarthritis is a disease characterized by damage to your ligaments, cartilage, and the surrounding bone. Risk factors for osteoarthritis include older age, higher body weight, joint injury, hereditability such as genetics, occupation such as lifting heavy objects, work-related injury, and frequent use of your joints. Estrogen withdrawal during menopause also plays a role.
So what happens to the joint in osteoarthritis? The cartilage between the joints erodes. This causes the joint space to shrink, and the bone surface in the joints can become harder, which is called sclerosis. Bony lumps can grow around the joint, which are called osteophytes, and lesions can form in the involved bones, and those are called bone marrow lesions.
So what are some of the symptoms of osteoarthritis? You can get pain, especially after activity that can be intermittent, stiffness after periods of inactivity, and it typically goes away within 30 minutes. You can also get swelling, joint instability, and crepitus, which is a sandpaper-like sensation during movement.
Osteoarthritis occurs in your hands, knees, hips, and or spine. Osteoarthritis can affect any joint, and the quality varies by patient to patient. Many patients can have X-ray findings that indicate OA without any pain at all. And the presentation is often asymmetric in relation to joints. So you might have your left elbow be painful, but your right elbow has no symptoms. And this is one major difference between osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, which we'll talk about next.
So what we are talking about next is what are the most common causes and symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. And rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease that's characterized by joint pain, inflammation, and damage throughout the body. It mainly affects small joints of the hands, feet, and ankles, and it can cause painful swelling and deformity. Some risk factors include if you are female, if you are older than 50, genetics, cigarette smoking, as well as excess weight.
So what happens to the joint in rheumatoid arthritis is that the layer surrounding the joint space becomes swollen and inflamed. The cartilage between the joints then becomes damaged secondary to this membrane being inflamed, and bone erosion can occur in later stages.
Some of the symptoms surrounding rheumatoid arthritis include pain in the joints, the back or the muscles, joint stiffness, swelling, tenderness or weakness, whole body fatigue, anemia, and malaise.
The skin can show lumps or redness. You can have bumps on your fingers or swelling, and then these symptoms can flare up at times. You can have dry mouth, deformities, or the feeling of pins and needles.
So how do you manage your joint pain? Some common management strategies include oral NSAIDs, such as common drugs such as ibuprofen, aspirin, or Motrin. Supplements like glucosamine chondroitin are not recommended. Topical creams can also be used, such as Bengay, Icicot, or Tiger Balm.
Other ways you can manage your joint pain is through exercise. So Tai Chi is a really helpful exercise that you can do. It doesn't put too much stress on your joints, but allows for movement. In a similar vein, water exercises also don't put too much pressure on your joints. Just like tigers can swim, you can too. You can also walk, and that helps you exercise your joints without actually causing any pressure.
Another way to manage your joint pain is weight management by eating a health balanced diet. You can eat many carbohydrates such as whole grains, brown rice or soba, protein, seafood as listed here, lean meat and tofu, fat, which can be found in fish, nuts and seeds, and olive oil. Healthy habits such as drinking more water or tea or limiting sugary beverages also helps.
So many of you may have heard of RICE. So this is an acronym to help you with your joint pain. You can rest from the activity that hurts it. You can ice to prevent swelling, and recommended is 10 minutes, 3+ times a day.
Can also compress with a bandage gently, as well as elevate by raising your legs on pillows when sitting or lying down.
Other managements are braces, which you can use for added support while walking or exercising.
So what are some of the treatments for joint pain? So both osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis have pharmacological therapies, but also therapies that maintain overall health. Core treatments include DMARDs, corticosteroids, joint injections, over-the-counter pills, education, cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as diet and exercise.
So I hope you guys got a kind of an idea of what we do for our presentations for our community partners. We have a lot of thank yous to give out. The Greater Boston Chinese Golden Age Center has been great for us, especially Natalie. She did all the translations for these slides, so we are endlessly grateful for her. Obviously, the Asian Community Development Corporation, you guys are great as well. I think we haven't partnered with you since COVID, but we would love to get that started again. Tufts University School of Medicine, as well as Tisch College for supporting the Community Service Learning Program, which is what TCWI falls under.
And in spirit of Chinese New Year, in the year of the tiger, we would like to wish everyone a happy New Year. 祝大家新年快乐.
Thank you so much, Colette and Bo, for that mini health lesson. I guess we'll all keep walking so that we don't have to take your advice. I now turn it over to our final speaker of the day, Dean Nadeem Karimbux. Dean Karimbux has served as the Dean of Tufts University School of Dental Medicine since July of 2019. Thank you for joining us today, Dean Karimbux.
Greetings, Tufts colleagues, community leaders, and friends. Happy New Year, Year of the Tiger, from the Dean of Tufts University School of Dental Medicine. I'm very proud to be the 17th Dean of the school, a school that has been serving its community for over 150 years. Our passion or vision at the school is global leaders in oral health. Our purpose or mission is threefold: education committed to clinical excellence, knowledge to improve oral and general health, and finally, care and community. Today, I wanted to tell you about the care and community we extend to our neighbors and to the local New England population. You already heard about how our students participate in the Chinatown community. We are extremely proud of all of their efforts. At the university level, our care and community commitment is to be an anti-racist institute. At TUSDM, our care and community commitment is captured in our dedication to a new entrance that states, I quote, "It is important that students, faculty, patients, and staff have a memorable experience. What better place to start than right at the entrance of our building? This new entrance reflects the global nature of Tufts and its commitment to providing an exceptional experience to all who cross the threshold." End of quote. During COVID, we were still able to provide care to our patients in need. Currently, we are seeing about 650 patients a day, a testament to our faculty, students, residents, and staff who have continued to provide care despite the pandemic and despite the social and racial upheavals that we have witnessed. We have ensured the safety and well-being of all by modifying the way that we practice, by mandating vaccines and boosters, by testing and surveillance protocols, and by updating our clinical spaces. We have introduced translational technologies in our clinics, for example, for Mandarin and Cantonese, and have used telehealth to connect with patients that could not physically come to the dental school. Our Tufts dental facility clinics, 7 in the state of Massachusetts, have continued to provide care for people with disabilities. Our emergency clinics stayed open throughout the pandemic, helping those in pain and alleviating the strains that might have been placed on the medical center in their emergency rooms. At the same time, we've continued to run our programs in the community. Apart from the efforts that you've just heard from our students, we also support other groups. For example, we have an event that's on a weekend called Give Kids a Smile, where we provide screening services for many children in the community. We also have a program called Service with a Smile for homeless veterans. Let me close by quoting one of our students, Greg Yip, a D25. "Volunteering at the Golden Age Center was a meaningful and heartwarming experience for me. Through teaching elders toothbrushing and flossing techniques to ensure proper oral health, I gained precious real-life experience on how to be a more effective communicator. More importantly, I felt a warm connection between us dental students and the local Cantonese-speaking community. We look forward to contributing to the oral and general health and well-being of you, our neighbors. Blessings for a new year ahead filled with hope, opportunities, and health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean Karimbux, for your remarks today. Leah, it's time to pull our final raffle winner. So hope everyone can get out their numbers and cards and use the raise hand feature in the reactions part of your Zoom screen. Or if you can't find it, feel free to claim that you are the winner in the chat. Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, thanks, Liza. Do we have a 101? I'm not seeing anyone claim it in the chat or with their
Megan,
oh,
I think
there's
Megan
one.
is the winner from the Greater Boston Golden Age Center.
Okay, so Megan, you have won a $50 gift card to Hot Pot Buffet. And we have, let's see, our next winner, 28, number 28. Do we have a 28? I don't see a 28. I'll call another one. I have a number 9. I don't see a 9 either. How about a number 11? No 11. Oh, is there a hand raised? No. That's a clap. Okay, we'll try another.
No, I am number 11. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Debbie, it's number 11. Okay, great. So
Yay,
Debbie,
Debbie.
all right. And so Debbie, you have won a gift card to Tito. And that's it for our,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Yeah, that's it for our gift card drawings. Thank you all for participating and
Thanks,
and
Leah.
for supporting our local Chinatown businesses.
Yes, thank you, Leah. Congrats to the winners. This is just a reminder to everyone to keep eating local, supporting our Chinatown restaurants and cafes. They need our support more than ever. So before we conclude today's program, I just have a few quick announcements for all of you that may be of interest. First, I want to let you all know, in case you haven't heard yet, our Tufts Community Grants program application period is now open. And Leah's going to put more information in the chat for you all, but you have until March 15th to apply. So please help us spread the word on that because we really would love to see some Chinatown organizations represented. Second, this Thursday, we have an event you all might be interested in. The Tufts Asian Pacific American Medical Association, APAMSA, is hosting a free screening of A Tale of Three Chinatowns. It's an award-winning documentary that they're going to be showing for free, and it profiles Chinatowns in Boston, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. You all are invited to join us, and Leah put that registration info in the chat so that you can sign up. And third, I'm going to turn it over to Diane O'Donoghue, my colleague, who's the Director of Program for Public Humanities and a Senior Fellow at Tisch College. And she has an exciting announcement about an upcoming exhibition that I know you will all would love to view. So I turn it over to Diane for that announcement.
Thank you so much, Liza, President Monaco, all of my colleagues and friends that are here. It's nice to be a closer. And I'm delighted to introduce an upcoming collaborative bilingual exhibition project between the Chinese Historical Society of New England, Chisney, and Tisch College's Program for Public Humanities at Tufts. It's entitled Endurance Streets, Resilience and Response in Boston's Chinese Community. And now after today, I realize it's particularly relevant for the Year of the Tiger. So that's wonderful. The installation scheduled for the late summer and fall of this year will consist of large digitized window displays in 2 locations in Chinatown. Significant material will be drawn from the collection of the late Tunny Lee, an architect and professor of urban studies at MIT, someone known to many of you here, I am sure, whose archive was bequeathed this past year to Chisney. The exhibition introduces this remarkable gift, whose content addressed many of the issues that continue to be of utmost importance to this community, such as labor and housing equity, and cultural placemaking and preservation. In the past 2 years, there's been an impressive number of events, as we've heard today, projects and installations that have occurred here, many envisioned as a response to the economic endangerment and racism that have impacted Boston's Chinese-speaking neighborhood during the COVID-19 pandemic. This exhibition will pair material from the Lee Archive with images and text documenting activities since late winter of 2020, and together bringing well over a century of resilience, challenges, and cultural vibrancy to those living, working, and visiting, as Professor Lee would call, these enduring streets. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane. And we really appreciate your work on that exhibition and the partnerships you're building, and look forward to viewing it this summer. So that concludes our Lunar New Year celebration this year. I really appreciate all of you joining us today. I know it's a busy time of the year and we caught you during the lunch hour. So thank you so much for being with us. We hope to see you soon. Please reach out to me anytime if there's anything I can do to be helpful at Tufts University. Happy Year of the Tiger. Great to see you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.